Empower Nation. Welcome back to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, and I wanted to introduce my guest today. I'm super excited. I love hearing her story and her travels, and wanted you guys to have a chance to get to know her a little bit more. So, Lauren Lombardo, welcome to the show. You are the inventor and entrepreneur of the butterfly hat, and you have a great story behind this invention that you did. And I would love for you to share a little bit more about the idea and how you got started.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. So my name is Lauren. I have this beautiful travel accessory, the butterfly hat. It came about after many years of living in Italy and being so inspired by Italian fashion and super tired from very long flights back to New York City, from Rome to New York, Rome to New York, because you have to visit family, right? And you want to spend as much time as possible without feeling exhausted. And we want to look good while we're traveling, right? So I came home one day, super, super tired, and I put an eye mask on my face just to close out some light and battle that jet lag. It wasn't doing the trick. I needed a little bit more of a hug, let's just say. So then I just reached for a beanie. And when I had those two things on, I said, I couldn't imagine wearing this in public, but a light bulb just went off and I said, how can I make this, let's just say Italian, or just pizzazz it up? So here it is. I just blended the two together. And can you believe that I patented this with a full utility patent? Would you mind if I tried it on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that because I've been on flights, I've been to Europe quite a bit, and they give you that cheap little mask, and it just doesn't do it for me.
No, this is where it's at. You look cute. I put this on with like noise canceling headphones. It's all you need to get that edge off. Even if you're in first class, it's just such a luxury to have this embrace, something that the eye mask, traditional cheap eye mask, can't do for you. And when you're ready to close out the light, you could just pull this down and you press over your nose and it seals everything out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very, very comfortable, very chic. And you can get off that plane guaranteed feeling more relaxed. Your hair is clean because it's not getting the free, radicals in the air that contribute to oil and all that stuff. So you're able to spend more time feeling refreshed once you get off your plane.
Yes, awesome. So being that, you helped invent a new product, when you're first starting out and making the product, how did you fund, the initial cost for that startup?
I have, up until now, been completely bootstrapped. I would say 75%. I still have a painting business in Italy where I teach workshops. You could sip your wine and have your classes. And, it gives me enough where I can save and just dump it all into what I need for this business. I am very resourceful with how I spend. Instead of having like the, newest like Louis Vuitton bag, which I would love, I put that into my own product, with something that I can share. So I found that the normal like luxury spending that I would go right into this company, into my photos, into my, just into the production of the product in general. So right before COVID, I started an MBA program because I had to switch my mentality of, okay, you're the traveling artist. Yeah, you're making some good cash flow and you're doing what you love, but I needed that business lingo. I have it in me, but I had to slip out of the Dolce Vita and get back into kind of like a real-time business world. And I'm so glad that I did. Not that everyone needs an MBA, but it helped me think on the right path of where to take this. And so through that program, I entered Best Business, competition or something for a scholarship with the Forbes School of Business and Technology. And that awarded me a $5,000 scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the confidence to go forward with this. So of course I did put some of that money, not towards my tuition, but I did use it for the development towards this product. So I was ready for my soft launch, October 2019, a couple of months before the pandemic. and I was
Great.
moving my first 100 pieces. I sold 2 at a time every time someone wanted one. So I was kind of gaining back fairly quickly at the beginning of my investment. And then we have, the pandemic that broke out, sadly. I just took a year off, let's just say, and I studied and I talked to people, and I found that time is really on your side. It's never really against you. It might feel hard, but it worked for me because guess what? At the end of that year, I qualified. Thank God I put all of that work in um, very quickly almost, because I qualified for a couple of grants through the Small Business Administration.
Nice.
So like week 1 and week 2 of, let's just say 2021, right in the beginning of the year, I had, some good cash flow that I was able to put to very good use.
How did you find out about those grants?
I am a Googler.
Ah,
I'm a big Googler, and I have, my contacts with local chamber of commerce. Even if you're not in the state of, where you're living, if you're not, how can I say that? So you can look in different states and see if there's other business opportunities. Maybe they want new entrepreneurs in other states. I just did my research, and you get in touch with your reps and they'll help you. I had a guy, Joe Muller from New York, calling me. Hey, Lauren, you might want to get on this. This is a $10,000 grant and you can, apply. And lo and behold. So
yeah.
yeah,
So you did the research, you put in the work, you applied,
yes,
and then you were rewarded for that hard work.
yes.
Awesome. So you've been in business obviously right before COVID hit. That was
Right.
a trying time for a lot of us, but a lot of us had to learn and pivot. So if you could give advice to the audience, something about money or a money lesson that you've learned as an entrepreneur, what kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say seek counsel 5 times before you spend $1. I'm not telling you to be afraid, but if I can go back to last year, I would have made different decisions in the trajectory of where the product should be, how it should, be just even be spoken about before you get out there and sell it, because it really can deter a buyer's decision. So just make sure that you have all of your research done, that you've spoken to as many people as possible. This way, when you lay it down, you could see the return. I attended a trade show really quickly in Colorado for glampers. I had people buying this off of the stand, off of my display, and that's a great thing. But if I had invested before that and knew more about what to expect and spoke to more people, I would have gone there. I kid you not, with 500 units just to sell off to customers walking the show. I left
Wow.
there just breaking even, which is not a bad thing, but I could have made a lot more. So I didn't talk to as many people. I can be introverted, it's just something that it's not a business thing. It's just a character trait that you got to build on yourself, constantly.
Yeah, and that brings up a great point too. When you were trying to determine how much to charge for your product, obviously you probably knew your numbers and what the cost was to create this product. How did you figure out what the market would pay for it versus, how much you should be charging for your amazing invention?
Talking to many, many, many folks out there. Do you like it? What would you buy it for? I've spoken to some hecklers that are like, oh, $17 max. Which is fair, because if you're in an airport and you want to pick it up, you don't want to be spending too much on an eye mask. However, it is a new invention. And so I can put all of my thought and feeling and heart into the pricing of this, because I know how it will make people feel. I know the quality and detail that goes into it. I see and I go over every piece that is hand sewn. So my markups are fair. I started out with a $79.99 price point, and I've had people buy them, and those were silk. So it depends on the type of material,
Okay.
who the customer is and who they're really buying it for. They're gifting it to somebody, right? And they want to make sure that they're, making a quality decision. So I have a high-end model and I have, a generic model that still feels and looks the same and as great, but I can implement different materials that will call for a higher price point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's next for you on this butterfly hat? What do you see yourself doing in the future with your invention and your line?
So I'm super excited to see myself grow on TikTok. I'm really, really, I'm funny when it comes to this TikTok thing, but I have a lot of fun making the videos, and I'm praying for, a good audience and to open up the TikTok shop and an Amazon store. I want to get in that whole mix. I've been just behind the scenes doing B2B, I'm selling wholesale, which is a great way to build your business, is B2B. So yeah, I want to get to that direct to consumer, arena. I'm really happy that I can think about that now.
Awesome. So I've got a fun question for you. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? And
One
why?
superpower would be to, it needs a little bit more thought, but I would just say to continue or not. Well, one superpower, teleportation. Teleportation for sure, because I've been to many beautiful places throughout the time living in Europe and just in general, that I would love to be able to swoop up, go to that one point, go there, sit and think and say, okay, I'm ready to come back, and then come back home and ground myself and just gather, instead of just going deep in my imagination. I am in Menorca.
Yes.
Because I find inspiration through my travels, and I just wish that we could do it faster and with more ease and less planning.
Gotcha. Well, with one thing with AI, that could come quicker than we might ever imagine. But then two, we may not need your product. So, I don't want it to come too quick for you.
I know. Well, everybody needs good sleep. So I hope AI can mind its business for now.
Yeah. And I think that the butterfly hat could be used at home too. It's not just a travel thing.
For people at home.
Yeah, for people who struggle with sleep. Like I'm the type of person where I like blackout. So for me, the product would work really well, even at home.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, Lauren. If my audience wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to find you?
So I am on Instagram. That would be the quickest and the easiest. If you go, and it's the THE butterfly hat. So the butterfly hat on Instagram.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time today, and I hope our audience has enjoyed these money tips. We bring it to you every week. So again, Empower Her Money podcast. I'm Angela Duncan, and until next week.
Thank you, Angela.